Hello reception. Today I'm going to read you about one of my favourite animals. It's the polar bear. Polar bears. Polar bears live near the North Pole. There is ice everywhere. It is very cold, but polar bears stay warm. Their fur keeps them snug. They even have a furry face. They have black skin under their fur. Their tongues are black. They have a thick coat of fur and fat called blubber. This makes them grown-up bears as heavy as 10 people. Sometimes a polar bear gets too hot. He rubs its tummy in the snow or jumps into ice water. Polar bears are good at swimming. They paddle with their front paws and steer with their back paws. They poke their head out of the water to breathe. A polar bear shakes itself like a dog to dry off. Then it rolls in the snow to get off the last few drops. Polar bears can climb slopes. They can jump across gaps and step carefully on thin ice. Their paws have bumpy pads that grip the ice. This stops them from slipping. They might look cuddly, but polar bears are deadly hunters. They like to eat seals the best. Their white fur makes them hard to spot. They have a strong, sharp teeth and claws like daggers. Polar bears hunt on their own. Sometimes they plod across the ice for days to find seals. The bear finds a breathing hole. This is a place where the seals come up to breathe. Then he lies in wait. Sometimes he waits for hours. Sometimes he waits for days. At last, a seal pops up. A seal for supper. Sometimes a polar bear spots a seal resting. It crawls along the ground closer and closer. It hides behind blocks of ice. The seal turns round. The bear stays still and then it pounces. In the summer, some of the ice melts and it's hard to find seals. Instead, polar bears eat seaweed, moss and berries. They eat fish and dead seabirds and almost anything else they can find. Some even walk into towns and hunt for food in dumps. But they can live for months without any food at all. Their blubber gives them all the energy they need. In spring, polar bears get together and become parents. Sometimes male bears fight over female bears. They stand up and look scary. They wrestle, but they don't usually hurt each other. Polar bear parents stay together for just a few days and then they set off on their own again. In the early winter, the female bear makes a den. This is a cave in the snow where her cubs will be born. She chooses a snowy slope and starts digging with her front paws. She digs a tunnel and a cave and curls up and goes to sleep. Snow covers the way into the den. Weeks pass. In the dead of winter, the mother gives birth to 2 or 3 cubs. Each cub is smaller than a cat. It is born blind and with no teeth. It clings to its mother and she feeds it milk. As the weeks pass, the cubs open their shiny black eyes and grow thick white fur. The cubs love to play. They wrestle, they chase each other and explore the den. In spring, it's time for the cubs to leave the den. Their mother digs their way out. The cubs see daylight for the very first time. Their mother teaches the cubs how to hunt and how to keep clean. They roll in snow and go swimming. This keeps their fur white. Now they won't be seen when they hunt. After about 2 years, the cubs are almost fully grown. They have learnt all that their mother can teach them and it's time to leave. She may never see her again. They set off on their own and explore the icy world all around them. And this book is a fact book, so it finishes with an index and some facts for us to think about. Polar bears are in trouble. They're in danger of dying out. Some people hunt them for their fur or meat, but a bigger problem is global warming. The air is slowly getting hotter, which is causing the polar bear's icy home to melt away. Scientists think there are only around 20,000 polar bears left. You can find more about polar bears by clicking on Google, adding kids, and then typing the keywords polar bears. Usborne Books also has first reading polar bears, and you can click on a website. Make sure that when you're searching the internet for facts about animals this term that you have an adult with you, and follow our internet guidelines for safety. There's the back of the book, the blurb about polar bears. I hope you've enjoyed this book about polar bears and enjoy learning about this beautiful animal as much as I do. Thanks, reception. See you soon.